All right, here we go. This is the Tuesday, December 5th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. A whole lot to cover here as we go through the latest edition of the video. Here's a look at our Greensboro Tower camera. This is late in the 5 o'clock hour this morning. Some clouds rolling into the region again ahead of our next cold front. We'll take a peek down in Charlotte. There's the Dowd YMCA camera. You can clearly see those clouds streaming in from that camera shot. That's ahead of our next cold front, which is very quickly moving in our direction. Highs yesterday, 50s and 60s for most of the region. But here comes the pattern change. Look at these high temperatures over the next week or so for Greensboro. Starting tomorrow, below average temperatures and probably even another shot of colder air just beyond the end of this temperature graph. It's a similar scenario for Charlotte, too. That colder air is coming, and plenty of it as we move forward. So these are temperatures, again, just prior to 6 o'clock this morning. A little bubble of cooler air still in place over parts of the Piedmont, but you look off to the west, much milder air, and that is just ahead of a cold front, which is causing some pretty decent areas of rain, anywhere from Ohio into Kentucky, further southward into Tennessee, North Alabama and Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. And that cold front's moving pretty quickly eastward and in our direction. Behind the cold front, there's your cold air. This is the pattern change underway. Still some mild air today ahead of the front, but then we're into this cold air for quite a while behind the frontal passage, reinforcing shots of colder air down the road too. All right, so today, a mild day. Mountains get into some rain sooner rather than later today, and then eventually that rain opportunity shifts through the Piedmont zones this evening and tonight. Your high temperatures today look like that, 60s and 70s, still a mild weather day. Tomorrow, kind of a tricky deal. I do think still it could be some rain basically south of Interstate 85. Another little shot of rain cannot be ruled out for tomorrow. A lot of clouds, and we're in that cooler air tomorrow. There's your highs. Nothing brutally cold yet, but certainly cooler for Wednesday. Thursday, I think we're kind of between storm systems. Still could be some rain near the coast at times. I think a lot of the Carolinas probably dry Thursday, during the day at least, with high temperatures that look like that. But then we get into Thursday night and Friday, and I'll show you some more detailed modeling on this in just a second. But here's the European idea. European computer model throwing some precipitation back northwestward into the Carolinas, enough cold air around that if precipitation does get tossed far enough northwest, it's into that air that's cold enough to support at least a little bit of snow. And then that system is gone by Friday night. The North American model, on its most recent 6Z run here, same basic idea, a little quicker with the timing, but Thursday night into Friday, that next wave of precipitation rolling in. And again, I'll show you more on this in just a second, but this is the European model, snow output across the region. There's the North American snow model, snow output rather, from that particular model. So what's causing this? Let's look in the upper levels. This is the 500 millibar chart off the European model. This is a valid Friday morning. A little trailing piece of energy over the lower Mississippi Valley working eastward that amplifies just enough as this whole trough sharpens as it approaches the coast, to throw some precipitation opportunities back to the north and west. So let me step you through a little bit of this. Let's go, first of all, the Canadian model. So this is valid Friday morning around daybreak. There you see the precipitation, and in the cold air, Interstate 85 corridor-ish. On this particular model, it's cold enough to support a period of snow, and even on the Canadian, it's deep into the deep south. You get some snowflakes flying during the day Friday, and then this is Friday late afternoon and into the evening hours. And just if you take that model absolutely verbatim, there's the snow output from the Canadian. Now that has a lot of assumptions with this. This would probably be a little bit on the high side due to ground temperatures and lighter precipitation rates in some instances, but just to show you the footprint of where it tries to put down a little bit of snow. This is the very latest run of the GFS, so this is the 6Z run that's come in, and it's trended now toward some of the other modeling with throwing the precipitation back into this colder air. This is daybreak Friday, Friday early afternoon, Friday evening, and then the system kind of exits by Friday later in the evening, and again enough there to put down a little bit of snow on the GFS. And again, the European computer model as well, putting down just a little bit of snow in some spots. Now, I say a little bit. You see these numbers, 3 and 4, 5 inches in some spots. Here's what I'm thinking, all right? So Friday, Thursday night, Friday, I do think, yes, we could see something kind of similar to what the Canadian model is showing here and some of the other modeling I've been showing you, where you do get enough precipitation into the colder air that you could see some snowflakes involved in parts of the Piedmont of North Carolina, maybe northernmost South Carolina. Now, I think maybe a dusting to an inch on some grassy or elevated surfaces cannot be ruled out, but I'm just not terribly excited about anything overly significant due to lack of heavier precipitation and ground temperatures that are still going to be pretty warm. So, again, I don't think this is going to be a big deal, but certainly kind of an interesting setup Thursday night and a Friday, and for snow fans, maybe. This is early in the season to be talking about snow. It can happen, certainly, but maybe a little early season treat to see at least some snowflakes flying in parts of the region for snow fans. All right, that is it for the latest edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks for watching. Everybody have a wonderful day, and God bless.